Hi guys, welcome back to Bunny Brick Designs. So I just got done doing the unboxing video, and then I went and had dinner, and I came back and I started looking at this pendant. And so what I thought I would do is I would get this pendant done and set aside, and then we're gonna make this blue necklace, and I'm gonna use some silver spacer beads to do it. And I'm debating whether I want to do chain with that or not. But in the meantime, I wanted to do a quick video with some UV resin and doing putting some little rhinestones. So these, and I'm using tweezers because these are, as you can see, they're really, really tiny rhinestones there. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera. But they're microscopic. But I've been playing with it, and I think in these little grooves here, I'm debating whether I want to do one or two in each of them. I'm thinking just one, maybe just centering the one in it and just doing that. So yeah, so anyways, and I just lost that. So anyways, I'm going to try to do this with you on camera. And so I have some UV resin here, and this is an old bottle. There's, plenty left in it. Well, when I say plenty, there's some left. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a cup, a silicone cup, and I'm just going to put a drop of resin in the bottom of this, if I can get it out. There, just one drop of resin, because really that's all I'm going to need. And I am going to use a resin tool, and I'm just trying to find a good dotting tool for my resin. Right now I'm pulling out all my brushes. There we go. So I'm just going to take something with a tiny, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can get that up to the camera. See if it's just not focusing today. I don't know what's going on. Let me zoom out a little bit and see. But yeah, it's just a tiny, there we go. It's just a tiny, tiny dotting tool. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a dot of resin and just put a little bit of resin in there. It's not going to take a whole lot, and I can do all of these at once. I'm going to do a couple just to get it situated, and get the first two done just to make sure I like it. Because unfortunately, once I secure the resin, there's going to be no going back. So at this point, I can put these rhinestones in like that, and they're going to be fine in there. See, that one's seated really nicely. This one, not so much. It just doesn't want to. There we go. So I've got two in there, and as you can see, it adds a little sparkle to this. And so I think I am going to go ahead, I'm going to harden that just for 30 seconds or so on it, just to get it set. And then I'm going to go put all the resin in and do all of the rest of them on the body. And then I will show it to you up close when it's done. And again, once the resin's hardened, and that's not completely hardened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, and then while it's curing, we're going to start on the other necklace that I want to do in this video. And then that way, this can cure for a good 5, 10, 15 minutes under the UV light, and make sure this resin's good and hard so that I'm not going to lose these rhinestones. And so all I'm doing is just filling in the holes with that 1 drop of resin. And UV resin, normally they tell you wear gloves, wear a mask. The J. Diction and the Let's Resin, they're not toxic. You know, so it does say avoid direct contact with skin. Yeah, it will irritate your skin if it comes in contact with it. But again, I'm just using a dotting tool here, and I'm literally just gonna dot these. And this stuff will wipe off of your dotting tool, and it won't harden unless it gets hit with UV light. So you don't have to worry about your tools because you can just wash them off when you're done. And so I'm just taking these rhinestones, I'm going to drop them in here. Try to center them as best I can, because that's all I want, is just a little bit of an accent on this. And I decided to go with clear AB because I had tried some green, I had tried some blue, and they just weren't the right color. I wasn't loving the color. So now up here in the body, I think because those are a little bit wider, I'm going to put a second one. And I know I'm touching resin on my fingers, and then I'm going to try to do 3 on there. See, once you get a little bit of resin on your tweezers too, the rhinestones will start to stick to them a little bit. So it sometimes makes it easier to work with, sometimes not. And so now the only thing I haven't decided on this, and I'm just going to turn this around here, is I haven't decided, and I think for there I want to do 2 because that looks like that's a bigger space. Oopsie. And I had a second one. There. There. And then that one can get a second one. And see what I mean? There's like 3 on there because I've got resin on this. And again, it's fine because as long as these don't get cured, they'll be fine. I can wipe them off. We'll put that in there. And I think that looks good. I don't know if I want to do the eyes in. I may want to do the eyes in. Yeah, we'll do the eyes in there too. So there's one there. And one right there. And I have 2 more rhinestones already out, so that's great. And there we go. I think that looks adorable. I'm going to put this under the UV lamp and let that cure. I'm going to wipe off my dotting tool on some tissue paper here. I'm going to set the resin aside and my rhinestones aside. And we are going to make a necklace while I am curing off camera the pendant. So I decided I like this look, and I like the crystals, but I was thinking I'm going to use, and this is from my stash, some silver, and I don't know if you can see it, I'll take one out of these. I've had them, I think they came in a kit. Ooh, and I'm losing beads already. These striped, there's a hole in the bag. Again, why I hate those types of bags, but they're striped. So I don't know if you can see that. They kind of have a little bit of a pattern on them. So it makes them nice. So I was thinking maybe doing, you know, something like this, because again, I know I don't have a ton of these blue beads. And so maybe we do that. And again, we're going to design together tonight. And I'm going to zoom you guys out just a little. So what I'm doing off camera is I am just hitting the UV light goes on for about 60 seconds. So what I'm doing is I'm just hitting it every 60 seconds or so. All right, I like that. How many of those do I have? I'm going to want a pair of earrings. So there's for an earring. And I'm going to want at least 3 of those for a bracelet. And then those for earrings. And then I'm going to need at least, let's see, because I do want to make a set, because this may be mine. So let's see, there's 1 for the bracelet. 2 for the bracelet, and 3 for a bracelet. So I've got the bracelet set aside. I've got earrings set aside. And I don't have a ton. Ooh, that one's messed up. I don't have a ton left of these here. But I wonder if, so here's where the design comes in. When you don't have a ton of beads to play with, you might have to work your design to come up with something that will work for your chosen pattern. So my pattern is these blues. And I like that. And then what I think I can do here, right, because we've got that, is I think after, I do like that. And that gives me earrings and necklace. And so I could do on the let's see. We could do that. Oh, and I was going to do greens with, I don't have enough beads. So, if I wanted to do the blues with the greens, oh, maybe I just do a pair of earrings with those. Because I did want that. All right, so that gives me... All right, so I have my pattern. We'll get to the bracelet and everything. And so let's see, what do we want to do? 3. Actually, I think I want to do just 1 blue and then 3 of those, right? Because now we're starting a separate pattern. 3 of those, and then 3 silver there. Or do I want to do chain? Or do we... Decisions. So we've got this here, the 3, which is the start of, so maybe what we do is after the 3, to space it out, we do, oopsie, I'm throwing stuff, 3 silver, do that. Yeah, I think that works, because that'll give me, well, we're going to string this. We're not going to seal it until I'm 100% satisfied with it, but we'll string this. I'll grab some silver beadalon, tiger tail, whatever you want to call it, and we will string starting in the center, and then we will continue to play with the pattern. So anyway, I got a bunny under my foot, Velvet. She's feeling quite neglected because some of the foster buns that I have had, they've been getting more out time, so I'm in the process of bonding a trio. And anybody that's ever had bunnies knows that, and I'm going to move the camera, sorry guys, just so you can definitely see what I'm doing here. Anybody that's ever had rabbits knows that bonding is not always easy and not always straightforward. So yeah, so I'm actually rebonding because it's a mom and her 2 babies, and I had to separate them before they were fixed. And then once they got fixed, the mom and the daughter weren't really good friends anymore. But the mom and the son were, so I have been trying, and it's been slow going to kind of build them back into a trio, which will make them harder to adopt out, but I know they'll be happier. And then you saw Bella in the last video. She came to me from one of the other fosterers as a temporary, she was a temporary house guest, and she was very bitey and aggressive. So like when you went to feed her, she would attack your hand. When you would step into her area, which was, you know, her pen, she would literally draw blood. Now, see, I really like that. I really do. Now, the trick is to see if I like this big spacing. So we'll put one side on. Anyways, so she came to me, and I decided she was going to spend her days and nights in my bedroom. And so for the first, I don't know, 2-3 months, she bit me. She wouldn't do it when I was sleeping, but she would do it if I stepped in her room after leaving for a while. And so I ended up just giving her love and affection, and I do like that, so I'm going to string the other side. I would just give her love and affection, and, you know, keep pampering her with attention, and she still occasionally bites, but she has slowly turned into this adorable little cuddle bug that you saw in the last video. She loves being petted. She gets excited when I go in my room at night. I will go in there, spend an hour or so reading and doing things before bed, and she will be so happy. She'll just jump around on the bed and bounce and, you know, do what they call binkies, which is means she's a very happy bunny. So yeah, so anyways, those are my buns. All right, I like that. And we've got a long way to go. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think I may throw, we'll just see. Do I want to throw one of those on and do that? I think so, just because that'll give me a nice, that'll give me a nice, and I'm going to put, so we'll do another set like that and end on a bicone for now on this side, and then we'll do the other side. See, I like that because it's gradually getting less and less of the big beads. I really like this one. This is very pretty. This definitely screams water to me. All right, so we're going to put the darker one on, and then a set of bicone spacer. And I like these silver. I like that I went with silver. I don't think gold would have gone with this. You know, it would have if I had the green in there, but not if not doing just the silver, or just doing just the blue, I should say. I like this. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's going to be a short necklace, but I like that. And I think I'm just going to finish up with just, let's see, so we'll do 1, 2, I'll do an additional 3 more on each side, see how long it is. And there's 3. I mean, even that would be a nice bracelet, little charm bracelet. Ooh, that gave me an idea to do a memory wire, but I don't have enough of the other beads to do full-on memory wire. three-strand memory. Maybe I do. We might have to do a memory wire for that bracelet. I think that would be cool with this set. That's 1. 2, and 3. All right, now let me see how long that is. Yeah, we might, I think a couple more. We'll do another, we'll do another 3 on each side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, let's see. Let's do 9 on each side and see how long that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. And 9. All right. Ooh, yes. That's actually perfect. It'll be a shorter necklace. And I think I'm going to use a toggle. I'm going to find a nice toggle clasp for this necklace. Maybe. Or do I want to add some more beads and make it? Well, seeing that this is probably going to be mine, yeah, I'm going to add some more beads, and then I'm going to put a toggle clasp. So we're going to do 2 more sets and see how that is. 10. 11. And the reason why I say that is because when you're looking at measuring this, it's a centimeter, so you know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. I'm adding every time. So looking at the 2 beads there, so just 2 beads. If we're looking at it and we put this there, 2 beads is 1/4 of an inch. So I'm adding, every time I add 2 beads, I'm adding 1/4 of an inch. So if I add 4, that's 1/2 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 on that side. And if you've been beading for a while, you'll know when you start looking at things that looks like it's about 1/4 of an inch. You start to be able to eyeball sizing rather than having to measure all the time, which is nice. I think that will be perfect with the toggle clasp. So I'm going to grab some crimp beads and a toggle clasp. I will be right with you. So there are my crimp beads, and I think there is a one of the wire guardians already on it, and then I am going to find a nice toggle clasp here, maybe. Yeah, we'll do toggle. So now the one thing you definitely want to make sure of is the toggle clasp that you choose. And so I'm sticking it through. I just want to make sure that I can get this over these beads and that there's room with, let's say, this, because you may have to go over both of those to get your clasp on. So I am going to put on the, and there is a wire guardian in that one. So, oops. So we will just use this wire guardian. Because the one thing you don't want to do is bead this up, crimp this down, and then have your... Ooh, that doesn't want to go in there. I think that one's jammed. That's probably why it was in there. You don't want to have your toggle clasp not be able to go over your chain. And I have had that happen before where I've had to cut, which is why I'm going to do the one side and try it before, and I'm also going to slip this on so I don't actually have to, so what I did is I just slipped this over the wire guardian there, just so that I don't have to worry about putting that on. And it's, you know, no, I don't need a jump ring, and there's no, there's not an extra fail point with a jump ring. So, you know, jump rings can come apart, you know. And so now that I've got this on, I'm going to just hold this and pinch that and then try and see that'll fit over nicely and then lock in place. So I think we're good to go with this size. So, all right. So with that being said, I am going to crimp, and I'm going to just pull this tight, get this nice and set there, and then I am going to crimp my crimp bead nice and tight, and then test. So I always pull, and I'm pulling pretty hard to test that, just because if I can pull on it and it's not going anywhere, chances are it's not going to fail anytime soon. Now, wear and tear over years. Now, if I wear this, you know, every day for the next 5 years, you know, it may fail, but again, how often do you wear the same necklace every day? You know, I always change it out depending on what I'm wearing out. You know, if I'm wearing blue, I wear a blue jewelry, or, you know, an accenting color. If I'm wearing black, I can wear pretty much any color. But usually I change my jewelry out, you know, and then seasonally I'll wear fall jewelry in the fall. I'll wear spring colored jewelry in spring. Obviously, I have Christmas jewelry I wear at Christmas time. And we put this also over the Wire Guardian. And so that's going to fit nicely. And so trying to get this to go through at least a few beads there. And make sure it's tight, but not super tight. So that's nice. And trying to make sure my spacer, my crimp bead doesn't go inside of, right now it's trying to go inside of my bicone. So I'm going to have to be very careful with that. And see, like that's going to be a problem. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right, there we go. All right. So there we go. So that is in and secure. And I am just going to grab actually my newer flush cutters and cut that. And there we go. So now we have a nice necklace, nice toggle necklace, toggle clasp necklace. And yeah, that fits over nicely. And there is design number 1 from the lily pads, or the Pawns and Lily Pads collection from Curated Bead Box. Now, I'm sure, you know, you've all been waiting to see my Dragonfly is cured. And so this is what it looks like now with the rhinestones in it. Now there's little dots here, and to be honest, I'm wondering if I want to do some like colored resin in that, maybe some blue. And so I do have a drop of resin in there, and maybe some glitter. So I'm going to grab some. I'll be right back. I'm just trying to find a color, guys, that's going to go well with All right, guys, I think I'm gonna use I don't have any that's gonna necessarily match it, but I found some glass. So what I'm gonna do is I got this glass. I'm just gonna see if it matches. If not, because it's got gold in it, I do have gold pearls, tiny gold pearls that I could use to drop in. That might actually work also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to, ouch, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to attempt with my tweezers just to get a little, and just to see if I put that on there. See, now that's gonna kind of fade into it, and I don't necessarily like that. Although that color matches. So I'm really good at matching colors. But if I took these gold pearls and I took one of these, and so I were to drop, oops, and because there's no resin in there, I don't know if I like the big ones. I may want the small ones. And these are like super microscopic, tiny. I don't know if you can see that. They're like, they're not even like 1/4 of a millimeter. And so the only way I'm going to get this is to dip in resin and try to set that in one of those holes. And I may use the bigger balls for the bigger holes and the littler ones for the little holes, because I do have some big holes on the wings, on the wing tips. So here, here, there, and there. So let's do that and put the big put some of the bigger balls into these and see what that looks like. And so yeah, so when you're doing jewelry and you're doing this, and I've got to take off my flannel shirt here, it's getting quite warm. The lights, I think, are making it warm. Don't be afraid to, you know, adjust your designs. And if you get, you know, you get something that, you know, you've got a pendant that you like, but it just needs something, you know, or you think it needs something, don't be afraid to, you know, do something different. So yeah, see, I like that. I'm going to harden this real quick under the UV light, and I'm going to grab this back because the next set of beads is going to be challenging, to say the least, because those things are tiny. And so I'm just curing for I don't know, 30 seconds or so, just enough to kind of solidify the resin. And now I'm going to take, and see, I'm not even using a ton. I used 1 drop of resin, and I haven't had to get any more. I don't know about doing along the edges there. I think I'm just going to do the ones on the wing. And we'll go with that. And so we're going to start out with a bigger bead on the bigger holes. So there's like a couple of those. And we'll do 3 of the bigger beads there. And then on these spots here, we're going to do the little beads. And I'm going to see if I can zoom you in so you can actually see real good what I'm doing here. So all I'm doing is taking and dropping into the resin and into those round spots. And so there we go. I like that. It's subtle, but it's going to be nice. Now I'm going to harden that real quick. And I'm probably going to need a little bit more resin. So I'm just going to shake this and just get another drop of resin. And again, I was just curing that just enough to set it so that these won't fall while I'm working on the other half. Now these are a little bit bigger, and I don't know if you can see that the holes are a little bit bigger, so depending on the size of the hole is going to depend on what I do with and I really like those. I'm debating whether I want to do the, up in here too. But yeah, I like that across the wing. So we're going to need a bigger, and that's what I mean. These things, they're little like tiny ball bearings, and they bounce. And if you're not careful, these things will go everywhere. Now I'm just dipping in the resin just so I can get three. Let's do one more of the big ones. 4 and 3 of the small ones there. I like that. I'm going to harden that. And then we'll do the other side. So, yeah, so you get a twofer in this video. We're doing the pendant. And then we did the necklace. And so, yeah, I'm going to continue on after I do this. I'm going to do something in the green, and we can do a pendant with that. And we'll use this pendant. I may actually put some of those gold maybe in there. I don't know. I do like the rhinestones. Maybe some gold in there as well. All right. So now to do the other side. And this is where you've got to be careful, because sometimes it's easier to do one side than the other, just because of the angles that you can work at. And so I am just trying. I don't know if you can't really see that here. Let me try to get this back on camera for you. And we'll just zoom in right on that. So I am just taking and dipping my tool in the resin and then just dropping a drop of resin on that. And then I'm taking my tweezers, and I just literally have, and I don't know if you can see that or not, I have just a tiny drop of resin on that, just so that I can stick it in the so I'm sticking it, so like I've got this thing in here, and I'm just touching a bead to pick it up, because the resin will pick it up. And so we did, on this wing, we did 1, 2, 3 big, and then the rest were little. So there's my third big one. And then same thing with this. I'm just dropping it in, and I'm picking up 2. And so that one just fell off to the side. And then I need 1 more. So I've got a little extra resin on there that I don't necessarily need, but that's fine. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm going to harden that. And I'm really liking this pendant. This pendant's really coming together, which gives me an idea of maybe doing something like that on these, and maybe resining something on those as well. I don't work with resin too much just because I don't like its chemicals, and I try not to use a lot of chemicals around the bunnies, but yeah, I'm really liking this. So again, just doing this, I'm just taking and just getting some resin on my dotting tool and then just hitting the hole there. Just enough to get a little bit, and that's too much resin on that. Sometimes you pick up a lot, sometimes you don't pick up hardly any at all. Or when trying to dot it, you end up... Yeah. All right. So we've got all that on there. All right. So now we're going to pick up, we got 4 big ones. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and we did what? We did 3 little ones. All right, now I'm going to harden that. And so one of the things that you'll notice is, you know, one little dot, little tiny ball that's, you know, that microscopic. You know, it is that tiny. You can barely see it on the tip of my finger. One little ball like that may not make a difference if you when you think about a single dot, but putting it together in a line, or, you know, in this case, doing an accent on something that's already got, you know, it's already got design on it. It just makes it stand out all the more. Now I want to do something here on the nose, just because I'm not liking how plain the nose is. And so I am going to do some resin in there, and I think I'm going to do 2 big and a little one. So there's 1, there's 2, and 3. So I like that. And I'm going to harden that. And so, yeah, so you could do all sorts of things. And I'm putting, sorry about my hand in the camera, I am putting away these extra little tiny dots at the moment. You can do all sorts of things with resin on pendants like that. So just because you see a pendant in the store, or you get a pendant in something and you're like, yeah, it's kind of plain, it's kind of boring, You know, that just made that pendant totally different. And I'm debating whether I want to do something in here around those. I do think I want to try something. So I'm just going to grab a bead and just see if I stuck a bead somewhere. Well, let's do this with some resin. Let me drop some resin on because I can always harden it even if there's nothing. Because I'm liking the gold. Too small? Or not? Well, let me put a big one on and see if I like that better. So what I'm doing is just trying nope, big one's too big. So we're gonna go with the smaller ones. I'm gonna set those aside so I don't, but I do like the smaller one in between there in the center. So as you can see, it's just going to have on that one, it's on the tail, it's just going to have some dots of gold that while minimal, it'll just be a little something more that'll sparkle in the light. So I am just putting a little bit more resin in the spots that I want to put these beads. And I don't have a ton of resin left in my container, but that's fine. I don't need a ton. And I'm going to open up these again and just dot on here. And so what I'm doing is on the side of this, you can see here, I'm just setting and again, I need to make sure that these stay centered. I don't want two there. Get out of there. That one there. That there. That one's falling off. And again, sometimes you may have to harden in between doing things because if they're not going to stay in place and they're just going to slide, you're going to have to keep repositioning. So I'm going to harden for 20 seconds or so. It just kind of starts to cure. It makes it soft, but not like liquid. And so, yeah, so that's very, very minuscule, but I can see my dots. I've got two in there. So I can't put any there, but that's fine. That gives me that there. Now, do I want to do anything else? Because if you notice, now I've got my dots in between all of my rhinestones. So I've got my bling, and then I've got my, and I really like the gold. So one of the things I am going to do, just to make these a little more secure before I end this video, is while they're not going anywhere, I just want to maybe touch up just a hair. And when I say touch up just a hair, I'm literally talking about just putting a little drop of resin over top of everything here, and it's not even a ton. It's just enough that is going to sink down in between the two beads and kind of hold them a little more secure. Again, I don't expect, you know, a ton of, people aren't going to be rubbing this up against things and like trying to sand it, but just to be on the safe side, I want to just a little extra resin. It's clear, so nobody's really going to see it unless they're getting super up close and personal with a microscope, because see, you're looking at that and you're not going to see the resin. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to cure it real quick for a few seconds, and then I'm going to give you a close-up. Well, you've already had a close-up, but I'm going to give you a better close-up. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit, give you a close-up of it once it's cured. And so yeah, so we did a necklace and a fun resin pendant. And then I'm going to cure this probably for many, many, many days, or many, many, many times on the thing off camera. But yeah, so there we go. So we have, and let me zoom here, so you can get a good look at this. So this is, and our embellished dragonfly. And so now this is unique. Now, when I put this, I took a pendant that, many people got in a bead box, and I did something unique and made it my own. So now, I think that looks fabulous. And I can't wait to use this in a necklace. So I'm going to end the video because we're almost at an hour here. And so we did a pendant and a necklace, and I hope you like it. And I hope this inspires you to do something unique with yours. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.